I give the floor to United Nations Watch for a video statement.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are deeply concerned by the dire human rights situation in Eritrea. Eritrea is a current member of this Human Rights Council. As such, it is bound to uphold the highest standards of human rights. Is the government of Eritrea meeting its obligations to the UN and to its people? Let us consider. In Eritrea, freedom of religion is severely limited. Hundreds of worshippers remain arbitrarily imprisoned, without trial and no due process. Some who have avoided arrest have been denied access to food rations. Hundreds of political descendants and critics of the government are subjected to enforced disappearance, some for decades. Since Eritrea's independence in 1993, a national election has never been held. 3 decades, no election. According to the Special Rapporteur in Eritrea, the country's indefinite national service amounts to, quote, forced labor and slavery. For female conscripts, being subjected to sexual violence is commonplace. Mr. President, Eritrea's refusal to cooperate with the Special Rapporteur indicates that these human rights violations are only the tip of the iceberg. There are no independent human rights groups based in Eritrea, and the government has continuously denied entry to international human rights organizations. Journalists have been especially targeted since the autumn of 2001. Public criticism of President Afwerki led to a devastating crackdown on dissent. He ordered the arrest of top officials, banning the press, and jailing journalists and other critics. Eritrea became Africa's foremost jailer of journalists. 2 decades later, independent media outlets are still banned from operating, and journalists remain disappeared. Mr. President, do these actions by Eritrea amount to upholding the highest standards of human rights? If not, when will this council fulfill its duty under Article 8 of its founding resolution and take action to remove this dictatorship? Thank you.
Thank you. Let me remind all speakers that what we are currently addressing under Item 6, the UPR adoptions of countries reviewed, out the 46 UPR Working Group session. Speakers are reminded to frame their statements in the context of the agenda item at hand. Speakers are also reminded of the need to adhere to language that is commensurate to dignity that is inherent to discussing human rights issues.
As we continue to engage in this crucial process, we emphasize the importance of maintaining a non-politicized, objective, and respectful dialogue. It is essential that all stakeholders adhere to these foundational principles.